other goal, it was successful. Welcome to episode 8 of the Oddcast.
08.
We are at the Brass Bell having coffees and we're sitting
Your
by
voice is too high for the mic, dude.
Yeah, turn it down a bit. Anyways, so we're sitting right at the ocean.
Just taking it easy.
Taking it easy.
After our train trip.
ODD.
Look, to those who listened to the one previous to this, episode 7, we were on the train, and so the ambience of the train and the screeching, that's what we wanted to do, just to
Create an atmosphere.
create an atmosphere of you actually being on the train ride with us.
Exactly.
So now this is going to be a lot more chill, a lot more cool. And yeah, welcome.
Welcome to ODD.
Welcome.
But first Thursdays was, I know we spoke about it before, but on this level now, it was good. I like that whole networking thing.
It was your guys' first time there. And of course, you mentioned something that you know a girl that knows the founder.
Yeah.
You should hook up with that guy. There's a lot of things I will discuss with him.
Hello.
Because there's a lot of things I will discuss with him, and because the thing, one of it is that, of course, for him to double the amount of participation and stuff, what new needs to come in,
And also,
what different, and guys like the Oddcast. If you do an Oddcast, we can be the first guys who's doing podcasts and this stuff.
That's what I was saying
We
to
have
my
our own
brother.
table. We have our own table. Right, with our own logos and whatever, and we're chilling like this. And how Darren talks about
That would be
art piece.
cool when we
At the
go
end
to
of-
video.
Dude, at the end of the day, you're advertising for those dudes, and we're getting ourselves there. The same thing happened with those 3 guys, that 3 animators. But you see, they weren't doing it right. They're by Friends of Design. They were chilling with T-shirts, right? But they weren't engaging with anyone. They were just sitting there and trying to let their T-shirt talk for them.
I don't know, that event's pretty big, dude. So they've done something right.
Man, the only thing what they done right is to talk to each other.
Dude, have you been to that event? It's
What?
massive. That you
The
can't.
animation vibe.
It's not animation.
What is
It's
it?
game design.
Oh, game-
Animation and game design go together.
But you know what? I'm very excited with games.
You don't even play games.
That's what I'm saying. If I have to play a game, for me it's all about appreciation. You play your game and I'll just sit back and enjoy the graphics.
there's actually, have you heard of Twitch?
Yeah.
That's where you watch people play games.
Yeah, I mean,
And we should, you
you guys
for
can play
people.
the game and I'll talk about the game.
I don't know,
know what
your
I mean?
I think your knowledge on games
But
is
I'll
very
do my
limited.
research. Then I'll ask you guys the questions. You guys can play, whatever, and then I'll
I don't know,
ask you
man.
why
Games to me are just one of the best
Assassin's
things ever.
Creed, bro.
Oh, I don't I
Nee,
love it.
bro.
Okay, they butchered it along the way, but it was
Yeah.
super cool in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I mean, people don't know that Prince of Persia was the first Assassin's
Prince of
Creed.
Persia was cool.
Yeah.
And then they came
And
with
they,
this
then
stupid
Assassin's Creed, and then they turned Prince of Persia to shit. But that's where the roots came from, where you can, you're hanging on a ledge and you can do the few somersaults and flip and grab onto the next one.
Yeah.
That's all from Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
And then maybe started with Tomb Raider. No, Tomb Raider was inspired by that, I think.
No, Tomb Raider wasn't
Tomb Raider's similar.
similar, but not the same.
the whole journey
I guess
vibe.
you could say, look at the first Prince of Persia that
Yeah.
we were playing on DOS. Did you ever play it? My goodness, there was this one part it's impossible to get past. I wish I could play it these days though.
There's probably like a port or something somewhere.
There's
Yeah, we should do a landing. We should do a landing.
a land.
A land.
What are you talking about landing?
A land.
A land.
Make me sound like we're gonna fly planes or something.
LAN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a local area network.
There we go. For the retards out there.
Not
You don't know.
retards, to the uninitiated.
Dankeschön.
But actually I
Oh, I
saw
must learn you some. Okay.
learn me what? Teach me
German.
what?
Teach me.
Fucking hell, you're gonna
Like
make me
German.
talk crazy here.
Like German, man. But the chick is Dutch. So I don't know what language.
I was talking Afrikaans to her.
Okay.
She understands it.
It's similar, dude.
Wie geht's? Wie geht's is like.
But there's this other thing for GTA 6. I wanted to talk about it.
cool.
They're putting in these new. Fuck, man. I should have
Yeah.
tried to actually go watch the video.
Yeah.
And people are going crazy about it.
What do you mean GTA 6?
Yeah, like they're already releasing different information of stuff
This
that
is
they're
a
gonna
new
put in.
animation movie that's coming out. What we talked about the other
Snoopy.
day. Snoopy. Snoopy is coming out.
You mean like Charlie Brown? Like the Peanuts?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it looks absolutely nuts. It has that South Park 2D vibe with a 3D vibe. That's what I saw on the advertisement.
It's called cell shading.
Yeah.
What?
Technical.
Cell shading.
Tell us more about that.
Mr.
It's cartoon
Technical guy.
renders. I'm not going to explain
Yeah.
it because I'm not a lighter renderer.
But yeah, so I
But
mean,
did you guys ever see the Popeye that they were doing? It was French, I think.
the Popeye.
They were making Popeye in 3D.
Oh, Popeye is dope.
Sailor
eh?
Man.
But
It looked
Popeye is dope.
amazing, but then they stopped making it for some reason.
Do you guys know the local animation? How come I don't
Animation
know?
Exchange.
Okay, just talk. You probably have the name.
Animation Exchange.
Kiswe.
No, I don't know what.
KW. Okay, off the topic because we need facts for that.
Okay.
Somewhere on my phone I have a picture of the animation brand, a local brand, and it's done by local superheroes, like cultural superheroes. What this guy? I think it's Kweze. It's
I haven't
Kweze.
heard of anything like that.
KWEZI. So we will post the name there. But it's a cool thing. It's a local dude. He has exhibits. He was on TV to explain his, ideas and that. But what I see is with our brand and that, like animation characters. In the journey, we do more animation characters and stuff like that. It becomes a story at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
What's crazy is the march is in like 2 days.
What, the weed march?
The smoke in or smoke out. I don't know what the fuck it's
In
gonna
2
call.
days. It's on Tuesday.
Everything is great, thanks.
Yeah, it's on Tuesday.
It's on Monday or Tuesday. It's the 7th or the 8th.
Is it during the day?
Yeah, I'm sure. They're gonna walk onto Parliament and everyone's gonna fucking smoke. They're gonna smoke and fucking pass joints and stuff.
That sounds legit. So now we know if office is empty on Monday. I didn't know about this.
No, it's like I've been trying to find the thing on Facebook. It's the Dhaka couple. They have it. They posted it. It's because basically the idea is that they've tried to take the peaceful route,
Yeah?
but now they're like, fuck it. We're gonna go, because I think maybe it stemmed from the fees must fall thing.
It's probably the same.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we're just gonna fucking walk onto Parliament and get high.
But like, is that violent though?
It's not at all.
You're just going to Parliament like, let's just chill out here.
And the police aren't gonna do it. They're just gonna like, keep things or
You
keep
know the
traffic
police
away.
are going to do something, and then there's going to be those imbeciles who just cause shit.
Dude, no
They're
one
not
causes
actually part
shit when they hide, dude.
Yeah, but they're not even part of the march. They're just there to just cause shit. There's always stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, they get those
You
external
must
guys.
remember, how many marches have they had in town? And has there
10,000
ever
million.
been, not that many, has there ever been
Dude,
violence?
I'm in town, dude. I'm fucking in town. You know how many fucked up stuff are there?
But there hasn't been 10,000 Dhaka marches.
Okay, Dhaka, no, but I mean like all
There's a
these
lot
No,
of
but
odd
I'm
things.
specifically talking about weed because it's for this specific
Yeah.
march. And all the marches that they have, the annual march, where they do the weed march, there's never been a violent...
Why are they doing it on a Monday though? Just because they want to go to Parliament?
Yeah, that's when the members of parliament are around. Well, I don't even know the real
We
details.
have
I
to
just
check on
know
Facebook,
that.
yeah, the group there.
As we're talking about movements,
Yeah,
I want to get your guys' views on feminism.
Okay,
Oh my fucking goodness.
feminism, okay.
It really pisses me off.
Okay, no, what you
No,
want to
give
say?
me your views.
Okay, of
I'm not
Let
gonna-
me explain first.
yeah.
I've got no problem with gender equality. Nothing at all. Women should be able to work wherever they want and all this and all of that, I mean, you shouldn't be like, You should not be able to work somewhere because you're a woman or you're
Yeah.
treated any differently.
Yeah,
But I feel that these extremists,
yeah,
these women who actually just hate men,
yeah.
and they're using this feminist movement, these fucking social justice warriors, they're just using that as a platform to hate on men. And it's not productive. You know,
Yeah.
it's not productive.
What's your view, Uriah?
My vibe is just like with the extremist vibes. It's also the BE vibe, like put in a certain
Grace.
put in a certain race or movement that you're fighting for,
Yeah.
and just putting people for the sake of putting people in a position.
Yeah.
I think it must always be done who is the best at their work. You know what I mean?
I feel the same as well.
That's just my vibe.
And
That's
for
just my
me
vibe.
as well, to add to that,
Yes, I do. You must look at the ratio. If there's only, like in architecture, there's only one woman who that's good in architecture, right? And they got all these leaders, and only guys win the competitions. So kind of that make it. But again, this whole extremist vibe. When I feel that if productivity doesn't come in work due to that, then
it's pointless. Because this is the other thing.
then it's a flop.
This is my personal opinion. So I'm for women working wherever they want to work.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you are not focusing on your own qualities.
Yeah, you focus
Because
on
there's a lot of things women...
yeah.
Sorry. There's a lot of things that women can do that men can't do. And I feel they're too
Yeah.
busy fighting to do things that men are doing instead of just finding out what women are good at and thriving at that to like a whole other level.
Yeah.
You know, by you know when sorry man, I get emotional when I'm thinking about these things because there's some women who just hate guys. And they with their short hair and their purple hair and they're fat and we hate you, you know. I mean, I saw once this woman was like, all men must be sterilized, you know. How's that like productivity or productive?
You're messing up his speech
I know.
with your must learn nonsense.
Yeah, dude.
Have you guys ever done research into feminism?
I'm reading every day.
Yeah, there is topics like
Yeah, but you're just reading topics. Have you gone
You
into
need
like
to go listen to
the history of feminism.
her name is Christina Sommers. She was on a podcast and she explained everything. And listen to that lady, because she is the perfect woman to explain gender equality and stuff.
Okay, so I'm gonna read my
Christina
notes
Sommers,
now.
yeah.
So basically what I found out is that there's a whole bunch of different movements of feminism, which I don't really understand. Like, if you all want the same thing, why have different movements? So there's liberal feminism, which is this. I can call myself a feminism if I'm a liberal feminist. Yes. Basically what they want is they want equality through political and just like legal reform. So they don't want like women to be pushed above men, they don't want men to just be tossed away, they just want everyone to be equal.
Which is perfect.
That's like, I'm fully with that, like,
Yes.
I'm 100%.
That's how I look at life right now anyways.
But then you get the radical ones, which are the ones you guys are talking about,
Extremists.
who blame like capitalist men for the oppression of women, and they want like a complete reconstruction of society, which I can't agree with. Like, you're just gonna mess everything
The
up
same
by
with the BE
reconstructing
thing.
things.
The same with the BE. Same
Well,
with
they're
Anyways,
still not
yeah.
as bad as like the separatist feminists.
What do they want?
They're basically the ones that hate men.
And they want us to be sterilized and that
Basically,
shit.
they don't support heterosexual relationships, and they're known as the sexist form of feminism, which basically goes against feminism.
You see, what you just said is exactly what I actually read. Is that they don't want women wearing dresses. They don't want women wearing sundresses and stuff. Because they believe that those women are falling into the trap that men have set for them to wear those clothes.
Oh yeah.
Even though women just like wearing dresses
Yeah, I
and
mean,
stuff.
at the end of the day, it's you. What you want to convey about your personality.
And they feel that You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be wearing dresses. You shouldn't have like the tied up hair. You shouldn't wear makeup.
Shouldn't shave.
You shouldn't shave. You must walk like not. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. Walk like fucking ET or Yeti. Do whatever you want.
If you feel pretty like that, like
Then do it. But for these crazy women, and you always see there's a certain type of look to them. You know, they've just been shat on by men their whole lives, and now they're just going on a rampage, and they're using this feminist platform to create their own little
own
sect.
agendas.
and then they ruin in the whole platform of feminism.
Because now people won't take it seriously. When they start hearing other women talk about this other nonsense, what's going to happen? Guys are going to start talking nonsense as well. And you're going to have this battle, and it's going to be stupid. I just feel like the real feminists, the leaders, need to speak out against these other women and these other groups, like Christina Sommers. She's a perfect example for it. She's got a book out and everything. She explains it perfectly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like with all these movements and stuff, where's the focus of what's supposed to, be doing?
Exactly. What
You're
is the
slow in the
result you're
economy.
looking
You are slow in the economy when you pause in the. It's a great thing to stand, but that's where my mind always comes to. At the end of the day, like there's a mission a company has or something like that, and then all this side tracks and wada. That's just a percentage to think about what's going on. But it's a good topic you raised.
The thing is, at the end of the day, it's all over now. It's all over Facebook.
But I feel like there's not enough awareness though. Like some people don't understand. Like there's different movements.
The different.
Like there's still
segments.
like 7 other movements
So
which
you're
I
not
didn't
gonna-
even bother with them because the one's mythical that has to do with like mythical beliefs. And
This
like,
gets weirder and weirder.
At the end of the day, you need to look at different cultures, because in some cultures the woman is praised. The woman is like the god. Like little tribes and stuff. That does exist. So it's not like in the society, we live in the Western world, basically. So our ideologies come from the Western world, which is mainly like the Catholics like religious views. It's like the Catholics and stuff where the woman must be nuns and whatever it is, I'm not even sure, but where the man has the power. So that's why I think that transfers over into our life.
yeah.
You see, so you kind of have to look at the root of it and where does this come from?
Yeah,
But like feminism doesn't just deal with like women rights. Like that's how it started. But then it evolved to where like black and white people must all have equal rights.
Yeah.
And then it developed like gays must also have equal rights.
yeah, it's the whole gay vibes.
Anyways,
Anyways, we won't go into your
Don't
hate.
go into
with me, I just don't like these like social justice warriors who they talk a whole lot of nonsense. You can't even post a joke, a meme on Facebook anymore
Yeah, go for it.
where people don't get offended, and you've got this whole argument between people for no reason.
Like it's not even like a feminist thing, like it's a race thing or something.
No, for instance, there is some funny I find some of those pictures funny.
Which ones?
Where it's like you have you got like 4 of these policemen and they're carrying this chick, and like the meme says, "We got one, guys, back to the kitchen with you."
Wow, that's rough.
Like I just you're scrolling through and you kind of have a laugh, but obviously you don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of the people don't agree with that. But then you get people who will, they obviously believe that saying stuff like that just causes,
More trouble.
More trouble. But then you get those radicalists.
Yeah.
The ones who just, people actually listen to them. That's the scariest part. They listen to what the radical people are saying and they actually start getting the support. And it's like, if the world moves in that kind of direction, there's not gonna be much progression.
Yeah, the other thing about like this whole movements and stuff, when they do their protesting, or off the topic, there was a protest, I mean not a protest, there was a gathering for HIV at the foreshore. And
The legendary foreshore.
Just foreshore, I need to go there.
You like, it were in the center there, they had this speaker there, some political party, and then they were talking about all this, raising issues about HIV, but in the talk, in the talk itself, like there was a person with a mic saying, yeah, we are poor, like repeating the whole time to these people, we are poor, we must find a way to find a solution to HIV because it's affecting our community, but repeatedly to your followers' minds. You see how you can get your people in a
Or
trance,
brainwashing.
Indoctrinating them with saying we are poor.
and you stay in, and everybody's like, what's the word? Glamorizing and saying amen to this. Yeah, we are poor, we're suffering.
I don't know if the
We
word
are-
is glamorizing, but
Like
I know what you mean.
we are suffering. Let's all suffer together.
You know, it's
See,
almost
that's-
like
that's-
they don't want to take the responsibility.
Now
Now it's
they're
like
just looking for excuse. They say, oh, HIV, whatever. But the thing is, my attention when it went for this, when it was at the protesting vibes, it's just how manipulating a speaker can be. You know, yes, you start off sensible in the first 20 minutes. Right, whatever you're saying to your crowd, and then little in between you say these small little things.
you know what? It's because
You know?
the human being then starts surfacing.
Like
the-
you
the-
in a hypnotized world.
No,
man.
the person, the
Yeah.
real, like everything starts like that.
The first
People will have a
20
good
minutes,
movement and they got their crowd and they're preaching the right
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
But then that individual,
Yeah.
once he realizes
Yeah.
or she realizes that they've got an
Power,
audience now,
yeah.
their own fucked up life starts surfacing and bubbling to the top. And then they start, you know, talking nonsense. The same with this whole like Black Lives Matters thing.
Yeah.
It's like, have you heard of it?
No.
Like, obviously because of all these things that have happened in America and whatever, they've got the whole movement of Black Lives Matter.
Funny enough. Okay, go for it.
Which obviously isn't bad, but
Yeah.
this is where the problem comes in. When you've
problem,
got students studying in a library,
Yeah, library vibes.
just studying, doing their work, and a whole group of these other students come walking in
With their
there,
agendas.
screaming at them,
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. And these kids are just trying to study.
They're trying to get out of that
Yeah.
that situation.
Yeah.
And you walk in there with your signboards and you're screaming at the wrong people.
Funny enough, I met this movement that you're talking about.
Black Lives Matter.
Maybe it's not called like that, but it was this whole movement for black people. And then it was at the library, right? It was a public event. Everybody was chilling there, reading their books, and then they done a public thing in the center of the public library in Cape Town. And then right through the conversation, they started to talk about like their thoughts on why must black people still feel inferior. So then we were talking about examples, and one of the women said, yeah, when she like walks past, and then this whole body language vibe of the white person. So I asked her, like, did she say anything to you? Like, did she say you
Whatever.
porky
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever? How can you just judge on that vibe and judge?
Like you don't know what that person.
You don't know what that person done. 80% of whatever the case might be, no, not everyone is like that. Now you just experience one thing, and you making a movement out of this thing. Where you see those stuff, man, is where you contributing to the external world instead of focusing on you. Who cares what is happening outside this world? You need to focus on you. And
Or you should care, but
if
like
you focus so much on this stuff, then people's gonna distinguish you as that, because that's how you see yourself.
This is what I'm like. In my opinion, it's like this. you taking the responsibility away from yourself
Yeah.
by focusing on external things.
External things, yeah.
Because if you're blaming other stuff the
Yeah.
whole time, how can you ever fix it?
You can't fix it.
You can't fix it
You
because
created
it's
a
someone else is
movement.
doing it. So now you create these movements and stuff like.
Oh, so you guys mean like don't not focus on it, but don't be the cause of it. Keep that so it
Yeah,
keeps
you
going
need
on.
to change. There must be a change in.
Try like refocus yourself on something
Don't-
that could be productive, that can fix that.
That's
Yeah.
what.
But now you
Instead of just blaming.
What
now you're blaming everybody. So now if I go to you and you blaming everybody and I say, so what can you do in your own personal capacity to change it?
To change things.
You won't know because you've given the responsibility to other people.
Yeah.
Instead of folk looking at within you and going, you know what? Maybe not everybody I come across
Yeah.
feels this way.
Well, yeah.
And maybe that person that I happen to walk past on that day
Just having a bad day or
or
having a bad
has their journey with people hasn't been a good one.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the reason
Yeah.
why they were affected the way they were.
Yeah.
But you can never
can't-
find
you
these
can't-
answers if you don't look within yourself and ask yourself the question.
Yeah.
Because you're blaming everybody else,
You
and now you're
attracting-
making
you
movements and
attracting
stuff.
this vibe, yeah.
And you've been protesting for years, and there's
Yeah.
been no
Change.
because you're not looking to yourself and
Yeah.
going, what can I do differently that can affect it differently?
Yeah. Yeah, because at the end of the day, the meeting was an hour on this whole whatever thing. And then
I don't even know how we got to this. but-
Feminism.
80% of the energy was focused on the problem. And then they want to come with a solution for
10 minutes.
10 minutes of a solution. I walked out. I was what were you trying to tell the people? Yeah, 10 minutes for a solution.
It should be
more catered.
2 hours for
You know
the
what I mean?
solution and 10 minutes of the problem.
Yeah,
Do you understand?
highlight the
Your
problems,
introduction,
and then let's see
and
what
then,
we can
okay,
do
guys,
to fix it.
This is from A to Z and whatever. But you know what I think about the whole American vibe is that, you know, some people are doing it, some American black people are doing the research at exchange research in South Africa about this, you know, how black people affected and what. So they're making theses and all this stuff
I
about
feel like
it.
you
And
can't go to another country
Yeah,
and use their things.
you know
to
what I
try
mean?
and reach
it's
your-
completely different.
So you are studying that our own people can't fix things. You know what I mean?
Like
our
our
own,
situation was terrible.
our own people can't think like, because what I still feel about this podcast is that I feel it's gonna awaken a lot of people, foreigners and stuff like that. Oh wow, these guys are from South Africa.
Exactly, but they don't think like the South Africans we've seen on TV.
Yeah, they're philosophers.
But you can't
they-
take what you see on TV again
Yeah,
because
you can't,
it's
yeah.
made to look bad.
You know what I mean?
Like
So-
you don't know what the rest of that person.
But also, you must remember, because the TV is the only experience of us, really.
Yeah.
It takes guys like us from
break that, yeah.
to like and show people like, hey, oh, there are actually people who are enlightened out there.
Yeah.
Thank goodness they're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Because we would have been thinking that they fucking walk with lions and live in mud huts and shit.
Yeah.
Even though we live in like the most beautiful place
If
in
we
the
had
world.
video, we could show that we're not actually in a hut
Exactly.
right now.
Soon, guys, episode 12.
Yeah, no, 100%.
We'll be on video and you'll see we're just like you.
100%. And
We've got a much nicer view, if I must be honest.
Yeah,
So they're all coming to us.
because we take a very, I would say, on the fence approach,
Yeah.
where we look at all different ideas
Yeah.
and sort of filter out the ones that are right and the ones that are wrong.
Yeah. The one.
But how do you know if something's right or something's wrong?
I think it's just the constant research, the constant looking into something, and never stop reading, never stop researching, because that's the only way your old ideologies, you realize, oh man, I used to think like that.
Yeah.
For instance, remember I was still talking about compounding interest
Yeah.
on the banks. Like, if people knew how to bank, they would never be poor and stuff.
Yeah.
And since then, my knowledge has completely changed on that.
Yeah.
Because now I realize that the banks, that's not where you actually want to put your money, like to make money. You shouldn't keep your money there, whatever. But if you want
investments.
to invest in a proper market, it would be the stock market.
Yes.
although none of us get taught about the stock market
How
really.
to operate here.
And people don't know that the money you put into how banks make their money isn't because of your bank charges and that. Because people are always like, oh, that's how the banks make their money. No, it's because they take that money and they put it into the stock market.
Look at what I'm saying. You asked the question, how do you know what's right and what's wrong? My thing is just like at the end of the day, like I always refer this vibe to Kanye West. What is the idea?
Ooh, Kanye West.
That's a wrong person to talk about.
Let's not
Okay,
use him as like
But anyway,
As any sort of role model.
mentor.
like no, what I'm saying is, this is the idea you're going for. How do we push this forward? You know what I mean? So the main thing is that how do you move from B to A?
Why do you want to move backwards?
I mean, from A to B. You know, like upper level. That's what
Yeah.
I mean, like the upper level. So how do you do that? And whatever way you must get from A to B.
Look,
and that's
comes
my
from education.
That's my vibe. That's
Comes
my vibe.
from education.
Yeah.
It comes from the fact that
So
you
if the-
know a bit more.
If you say you started this movement, whatever, right? And you still doing this movement annually and whatever, and 10 years you still at the first thing, then it means that you didn't progress. Simply. There's no advancement. People are still stuck in an old mentality. You know what I mean?
It's got, look here, it's simple. In South Africa, we have a lack of education in all areas.
We can't say that in this day of age, though.
Of course we can. I was just working, right, for this other company. And my supervisor, you know, someone who's in charge of people, was so, I don't want to be too harsh, but
It's an arsehole.
no, was just so, I want to use the word uneducated.
Yeah. Those
She
losing
didn't-
people.
No, man, let me just finish, man.
Yeah.
Can't connect on a higher level. It's like I'm sitting here, I know I've read so many books and I'm trying to understand different things and different models of life. And then I look at the people who are in charge. You know, they're in that position maybe because they've been working 15 years there and now they're in this position. The company never like put them on like some sort of course to you know,
further them.
to further their mental education to approach it differently. So you have the same lady who's she acts like a teacher in you know, like that high school mentality.
High school
That's what it
mentality,
is,
yeah.
where it's like, oh, you guys are the kids. You must ask, because this is how it was. I'm chilling there and it's like first day or whatever. And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna head to the toilet. And she's like, you're gonna head to the toilet? You must ask. and I'm like, whoa. And I'm thinking, we're all adults here.
The black.
You know, we're all working
Yeah.
for this. So why is it like a teacher-student thing?
Yeah.
Why is it like?
A report
And then I
back
realized
vibe.
it's because that's her control.
That's the mentality. Yeah. Okay.
That's her control
Old
of
school vibe.
because she's never she has this position of power, but she's not educated to a point to realize that us here on the ground floor are one.
Yeah.
And it's because of us that the level above gets to do more.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
because of them that the level above gets to do more.
Yeah.
And that's how the pyramid stacks.
Yeah.
But no, you must report to her.
Yeah.
You must. And then
always
the
that-
second time I was like, you know, I don't want to like make waves. Excuse the pun, we at the ocean. Then I was like, the second day I was like, hey, whatever her name is, can I go to the toilet? Then she's like, I'm getting tired of this now, hey?
What?
You see, and this is the kind of stuff you have going on, not just
But
there.
that's just someone stupid. That's not like got to do with education. If she was educated, she'd be even worse, dude.
No, you can't say that, dude.
I know that, dude.
Her lack of whatever comes from not being conscious and educated. I mean, if she had to read any book from anyone, Eckhart Tolle or whoever,
Some people just have like a power thing where they need.
To feel good.
but what I'm saying is this is happening in many different workplaces.
Yeah.
You can cover it up as much as you want. in whatever way.
my-
I just had a bad experience. with
My
it.
this thing in a workplace model, for me, one of the approaches to get the most productivity out of your team members is to give them that freedom, right? And how do you create the freedom and still at the end of the day control? So this is what I'll do. I would say, like, okay, dudes, we got a deadline. We know that it's on so and so date. You guys, these are the working hours, right? Free. This is a studio space. Feel free to do what you want. But remember, this is the due dates. And in between that deadline, there are small little presentations. Please show me that.
You know what you're talking about? Some guy spoke to me about it last week. He said that it actually exists.
What, like a space that you can rent?
No, I don't know. I
The
told
model, man.
I told someone
business model.
about it, and he said no, it doesn't exist. Because how come you haven't heard about it? But this other guy told me that, say for instance, if you are an architect, or I don't know what
whatever
specific
design,
job,
creative vibes.
and you need a car to get from place to place, then it's like the government will buy you that car if you hit certain deadlines in that month
Yeah,
for them.
yeah.
So if they say you need to draw out like 10 plans
Okay.
and give 2 meetings,
Yeah.
then we'll give you the car. And that's like, and bolts, I'm not fully,
Yeah, but I mean, because then
I don't have the full knowledge on it.
Because I tell you
Yeah.
what, this whole vibe of feeling that somebody's looking at you when you're working, no, man.
What do you mean?
What do
Like
you mean?
you feel that somebody's putting pressure on you, man. I feel that people, and one of the things is you also want to build your team members independently, man, because when they're working alone, right, they are pressurized because now they have to think on their own. But if you educate them, you know, from the start, you know what I mean? Because they'll be too
The
comfortable.
model comes from
The
school
school
though.
vibe, yeah.
Because think about this, if you're a student at school, your teacher shouts at you, whatever. Now you older, and now you go work at Woolworths or whatever.
You in that.
And now you're in that position of how your teacher was. The model you used to is that you have that power over the people that's working for you. That's where the pressure comes, and that's why like places like Google thrive,
Yeah.
because
yeah.
there is none of that. It's
Yeah.
a very, it's like we won,
It's
but
a campus vibe.
yeah, we won,
Yeah.
but everybody kind of has their own individual
Everyone's
time.
contributing to this.
Yeah.
And no one's like really pressurizing you, like,
Yeah.
hey, you have to do this. And
Yeah.
that's why it
It's
thrives.
a lot of creativity. Creativity mustn't be boxed, you know, and no, it's
For instance,
yeah,
like if I was like just out of high school, going to work at a place like Google,
top class.
wow.
It would be amazing.
It's an actual experience. It's actually like a little civilization inside there because they've got
Yeah.
everything.
They got everything, eh?
Like in my industry, like you could be amazing at drawing, but if the client doesn't want what you just made, it can be like a work of art. Like they're gonna bring you down because they're like, I don't like that.
Whereas with Google, it'll probably be they can use it somewhere else.
They won't use it for what they asked for, but they'll use it for something else. Where like in advertising, it will just be deleted and never used again, and like that brings a person down.
Yeah.
It like literally sucks the life
It's
out
like you
of
put
you.
energy into this and it's gone to nothing.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. There's a lot of vital points that we made, yeah.
I actually I walked out.
Yeah.
It was like 11 o'clock tea time,
Yeah.
and that lady was giving me trouble.
Yeah.
It's because from the get-go, she would make these comments like, "Oh, he's a smart one, you know, watch out for him. He's a clever one," just because of like how I am.
Yeah, and you just
And
be
she
yourself.
obviously felt like threatened or something
Threatened, yeah.
because she's the supervisor, yet I'm
And you're gonna
more
take your
educated
place here.
who I am.
You're gonna take your place.
And she just kept, she would make these stupid comments and like comparing me to people who have worked there for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyways, for the people that don't know, I was just working here for some extra cash. But anyways, it was 11 o'clock tea time, and I literally just, everyone went out for lunch or tea, and I took my bag, I left, and I never went back again.
And
I didn't even care about anything. I just left. Because it was...
You made a decision, yeah. And you had to
Yeah,
go
because
with
I'm
it.
doing what's best for me.
For you, yeah. And you know who you are. You see what I mean?
And I feel, you know what scared me the most was that you get people who work at these places who felt how I felt.
They don't have
for
the-
years.
They still stay there.
And I'm telling you, I could have like jumped off that building if I had worked there for like another 3 weeks or something. Just because it's so draining to who you are. And no wonder. And then I was like, no wonder I know so many people who are so angry all the time.
The spirit, man.
The soul has been completely drained out of the body.
Like Les Brown says, most of suicide deaths are done in the morning because
On a Monday.
On a Monday because they hate what
They have to go through another week
You
of
see,
the
like
same
their
thing.
weekend only starts on the Friday, man.
And it's late Friday.
When
It's
they're
not like
drinking,
it's not like
drinking, yeah.
Friday morning.
That's when, like,
So you basically only have a half day.
you know what I mean?
You have a half day for Friday and
But
a
you know
half
what's
day
very
for Sunday.
funny? You know what's very funny?
What do you mean a half day on Friday?
Because you're working on Friday.
Yeah, but you're working most of the day, so like,
You know what's very funny, eh?
Oh yeah, it's more than half.
Like you worked your ass off. You went to school, you went to university, and you get into a place that you still treated like shit, and you're not happy. That's the worst comfortability you can go through. And you ask yourself, what is life supposed to be? So, dude, like
This is
the way
if you
I
don't have
yeah,
direction.
yeah.
If you don't have some sort of passion that you're working with on the side, then that's when it becomes terrible.
That's when you're in a loop, because the thing is, like, what made me advance is all my projects at university I took into reality. I visualized myself, this is for an actual thing. They're actually gonna build my thing. So I always used to do extra. Always the extra amount.
yeah.
You know? And there were comments. There were comments from lecturers that the only problem I didn't have was this project was that I don't think this guy would have made it. And if I can prove that's wrong. Because I'm not worried about a hand in. I'm not worried about that cuck. That's for lighties. What I'm talking about is, this is for reality. This is what's going to be pushed. And that's it, bruh. Creating an impact. And people remember you for that, bruh. You know, people remember, oh, fuck, that's the one project
Did you
that
meet
we
the
never...
deadline?
Not all of them, but I did make a spectacular impact that I'm sitting today with Michael Bostrom, owner of Archinab, as my mentor. You know, and it's a top thing. It's a top mentor. You know what I mean? Yes, he accesses me to other architects. You know what's going to happen. At the end of the day, like that's the difference, man.
Yeah.
That's the difference. When people see you as how they saw themselves, and they have to add on to that circle of people want to do things different, man. You know what I mean?
I think bosses have lost like the concept of what it is to be the head of a position.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people in high positions, they don't actually know how to do their job. They just got there because they were friends with people and they were friendly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So like, if someone goes to a position, they should be able to mentor people under them to get to the same position.
Yes, yeah, it's all about why would you want to keep your other people down?
Like people don't understand that's what being in a high position is anymore.
People say like, you're
They
going to
just see it
steal
as
my
like,
job.
I've got more money, like I've just worked hard to get to this position. I don't give a fuck about anyone underneath me.
Yeah.
Like that's like the mentality of people in high positions
And
now.
that's the problem, man. Because the other problem is you're earning a lot of money, but when you go overseas, you're still worried about, is these guys going to work just as hard as you? Because you're the guy with the knowledge, you must pass it on.
Yeah.
So you can enjoy yourself. Richard Branson, enjoys himself, goes everywhere in the world. He knows his people are looking
Yeah, but
after
he
his
teaches-
vibes.
yeah,
He
because
teaches, that's what
he
we're talking
teaches,
about. He
that's the
teaches his
difference.
people. He teaches because at the end of the day he's gone, but then there can also be another Richard Branson who's pushing the vibe. He doesn't have to worry about anything.
Like, I can't respect someone in a high position if they can't teach me.
Yeah, they cannot be like a mentor.
For instance,
Yeah.
I used to work at the Cool Runnings Toboggan Park, and the guy owns it, Frank, German dude, whatever. Like, he had just had no respect for the guys who are actually on the track, the marshals, doing crazy stuff. You know, like there was this one time when, like, we have bad accidents there sometimes. Thank you. We have bad accidents that happen there sometimes, and so the one time there was a bad one where some guy, he got badly injured, and he was like quite a heavy guy. Us as marshals, we have to now go up with this the stretcher, and we're carrying this dude down, and he's cut up. He's got 2 broken ankles.
What?
His wrist is snapped as well, and he's screaming there, you know, like shaking on this thing. And we have no experience in this at all,
How did this happen?
because basically he was going fast,
Yeah.
and some girl stopped dead in front of him. So he pushed brakes, but when you do that,
The thing slides.
it's like you lose control, and he flew out and just smashed himself. And so now this is at the top of the summit, so it's this massive hill, and we have to go up. We're like 4 guys, we go up, and we're carrying this heavy dude down. We don't have any experience in this at all, carrying this guy down. Now Frank is like shouting at us on the walkies that the track has slowed down. What is the hold up? And we're explaining this guy's like injured. Then he's like, just drop him in the parking lot.
What?
Wait for the ambulance to get you and get back to work. But I mean, without us doing that, how is things supposed to go on? How
And how's it gonna look on his business if, like, the staff are just leaving the people?
someone injured? And he never understood that. My one friend gets a call, like that our other friend died. So he's obviously emotional, everything. Frank fires him because he wants to go home to the family. He's like, no, just give me your t-shirt and don't come back here. Then he even announces it on the walkie, like, the guy's name will not be working with us anymore. Then he tells us he's not a team player. He's saying his emotions get the best of him.
What? This guy sounds like an asshole.
He is. He's like
There's a lot
this
of
rich.
assholes.
He's a rich fucking asshole.
It doesn't matter.
To him, it's business. Like, oh, just let's carry on.
Matter.
But is he gonna be on a marshal on the track? No ways.
No,
See, that
they-
a real boss would be someone who'd be like, yes, go home, I'll take your position. Like, he's not just gonna sit in his
Funny
office
enough, go for it.
and do his shit. No, that's all I wanted to say.
Samsung, the rivalry with Samsung and Apple is always this idea thing. So what I've noticed when I went to that thing, the Samsung tent in Waterfront, was that whole 3D vibe, right?
Yeah.
And the only way how you can work with the 3D vibe, you must also have the cell phone.
Yeah.
So they had assholes. They had this like a gallery space of who was the designer who came up with this idea, and the watches are quite cool, the new watches,
Yeah.
right?
I prefer the Motorola one.
and they have this old guy explaining the design philosophy and stuff. Now Apple started with pushing designers to explain their ideas, you know, in the sales presentations. It was never done before. It was never done before. Now Samsung, all of a sudden, they're using it for a marketing vibe. But true fans know that all comes from the art. You start with it first. That's Apple. They started with it first. They like design, and they promoted designers.
Apple's stolen a lot of things.
A
from
lot
other
of things.
companies.
Also, I agree with you, but you had to see that thing, dude. It was a proper con, because Samsung don't care about design.
I think they do.
You can't not care about design.
I'm talking about the love. Oh, I don't know, man. You just
No, you must know if you've got an opinion. on it.
you can have.
Explain why
look
you
at, dude,
feel that way.
You can have a nice cell phone.
Yeah.
Right? And I can also have a nice cell phone. Right? But you gonna like my cell phone. Why do you like my cell phone? When you have the same stuff. You might have more expensive phone than me, but you see there's a love put in there. There's a history.
Dude, I hate Apple.
Achman, you can
Apples,
just go and eat the
apples
apple.
are overpriced for what you
Okay,
get.
what you get. But look here, dude, like when you watch the movie, when you read the books, there's a whole like,
Yes,
there's a
Apple-
whole story to it, man.
No,
Apple
Apple
looks
is just
nice.
one.
Like Samsung, you can't read up on a designer when they start with, you know what I mean? It was just this Chinese guy that, what if I called him all Chinese?
That's a perspective, though.
It was how Samsung started, right? It was a dude that bought a lot of equipment, technology equipment, started to sell a lot.
The thing is, don't be
Took off. And
don't
then-
be so
Yeah.
like indoctrinated by Apple, because that's what they do.
Dude,
They're the ones who are in the movies and stuff.
Yeah, they know
because
the movies, yeah.
They
So
pay
at
in
the
the
end of the
movies.
day,
they pay the people
yeah, at the
money.
end of the day, it's a marketing vibe. It's all a marketing
And
vibe.
you falling for that trap by advertising Apple here. But what's wrong with Inju One, which is a new brand?
Yeah.
They've got everything. They've got their own cloud service, Inju Cloud. Then you got Hawaii, or however the fuck you say it, Hawaii. That also has the same good
But
specs.
what I'm saying,
the only
yeah,
thing is,
yeah.
when you watch Pirates of the Caribbean, and Barbosa is sitting there, and he always takes that one bite of the apple at the end of the scene.
Yeah,
That's a subliminal message for Apple.
yeah.
It's in that scene.
Oh, check what I mean.
It's, you know what I mean. You don't. I mean, what does fucking Samsung even have that you can actually see? Like, oh, that's Samsung. There's nothing like that. Apple have that Apple. So all they really have to do is put that in movies,
And it's done.
and that goes in your brain.
Yeah.
And then you go read up on Steve Jobs and all these people, and you realize Steve Jobs didn't actually fucking
Steve
do
Jobs
anything.
was actually an asshole.
And who just
If you knew, like, the information, like, nobody liked him.
he just took this position and whatever. He used his mind correctly.
But it was very funny to me when I walked into that tent and I saw, they're promoting now. Oh, now we love design. They had the whole history vibe.
They've always loved design, dude.
No, but they actually brought the designer and made a nice gallery space for him.
Because that's what it is. It's like a Samsung 10.
I haven't seen that before at other Samsung
Dude,
places.
if you went to...
Have you?
Or in the talks when they give their presentations.
How many Samsung presentations have you been to?
No, I haven't been to. I watched on YouTube, and
Is everything still good here?
That's great. Thanks.
and the thing is, I couldn't feel that same impact when I watched the Apple. Look
But
at
that is perspective from
just-
one
yeah,
person.
From one person. But what I'm saying is, it's very funny, man. But at the end of the day,
Apple prides themselves on, oh, we make amazing design.
stuff. Yeah.
Samsung prides themselves on, this is a good piece of software and this is a good piece of hardware. Buy it. Like, they don't need to try and like indoctrinate you to just buy their product. Like, it's a good product.
Yeah.
If a product is good, people will buy it. That's how it works. You know? At the end of the day, me, myself,
Me and myself.
I don't even care about what the name is, as
Yeah.
long as the
It
specs
does the
are
function
good.
you want.
That's what you want to
You
do.
got HD recording,
Yeah.
great megapixels, there's a nice platform to work on, the display's nice, it's smooth, it's fast. Then I'm fine with that. Like, that's why I don't even like to buy into the Apple and Samsung
it's-
shit. Because it's like, it's all the same thing. It's probably made in the same fucking factory.
Yeah.
And then they just label it differently as it comes off the shelf.
Yeah. But what I do like of Samsung, the way they increase their businesses was when they made like franchises in different countries. And what they used to do was they used to send people who were at a higher position to go and research people from those places to get to know what people liked. Brilliant. Brilliant.
What did Apple do? Ah, let's just take these these people straight out of college.
Yeah. So, but
Also, you must remember, Apple plays on the whole religion thing.
Yeah, let's not get to
No,
that, yeah.
what do you mean get to that? That's where it comes from.
Yeah. Thanks
If
a
you
lot.
think about it, right? Adam and Eve bit the apple, the forbidden fruit
Knowledge.
of the knowledge. So Apple just took that and made a product from it.
Yeah,
So
right.
now it's a bit of taboo.
Taboo,
Now it's
yeah.
like, the forbidden fruit, and they use that to market their product.
Like, yeah, and it's.
I mean, I didn't read this anyway.
that
That's
was a
just
cul-
my
yeah,
take on it.
That was a cultural
So
thing.
that's a theory of yours.
It's
It's
a
a pretty
the
good
hippies,
theory.
It is
the
a good
hippies, the
theory.
hippies.
What?
What the fuck are
hippies.
you saying?
Look at those guys. Steve
it's
Steve
fine.
was a hippie. Steve was a hippie, right? And
Steve Jobs
One of
didn't
the-
make
He
shit,
wasn't a
man.
hippie, dude.
One
he
of
was a
these-
hipster. There's a difference between a hippie and a hipster.
whatever. So the thing is, his wife also. I mean, not his wife, but his lover. Also asked there, but it
think
looks
it
like
was his
this.
wife, wasn't it?
This forbidden. It looks like this forbidden thing from the biblical text. But then he had also another idea about what he was trying to push. I have the books, so.
I feel like you're going nowhere with this.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just.
Look here, the books
I'm
are
just
lies and fabrication.
Well, it's a biography.
If you write a book,
It's a biography. Somebody's interviewing you and writing your ideas.
somebody's interviewing you.
And you can say whatever
writing-
you want to
You
say.
can say what you want. You can be like, I love Jesus. And then when that interview is gone, you
Hail
don't even
Satan.
love Jesus.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, it's facts from
Steve
the,
Jobs was a businessman.
Yeah,
He knew how to
business
sell a
mind.
product.
Yeah.
So he had to sell himself in order to be
Yeah.
successful.
All I'm saying is that everybody has potential to do whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you can't look at these guys because the moment you start like looking at like things in a singular way, like Steve Jobs, because we know about him and everyone talks about him and Apple and all this bullshit, then you're gonna miss all the other people who can influence you as well.
Yeah.
Like, go research on the guy who started a small company, that company is in the shadow of Apple because they are funded by big corporations.
Yeah.
No one talks about HP, of how they
Yeah,
started.
yeah.
Like they started in a garage.
No, they're waiting for Bill Gates to die and then.
What?
I know Bill Gates is not HP, but what I'm saying is.
So you're just saying nonsense.
No. HP is linked with Windows. Like the hardware. No?
Dude, HP is like Samsung.
Yeah, they're the hardware for.
They've got nothing to do with Windows. They just choose to have Windows on their platform.
Yeah, but I mean the business relation is there.
I don't know, dude.
I mean, like if
I'm just saying.
I must get your software, there's a relationship. I'm using your
I'm
team
just
and
saying.
shit. Yeah,
HP started off small. You don't.
they started small.
You don't
They
hear
didn't
about
finish
books
it's fucking
of the
sentence.
CEOs, like how they became
Yeah,
successful.
yeah.
Like I don't like HP products.
Yeah.
I find them shit.
Yeah,
But like
Yeah.
they're still a massive company now.
Yeah.
But they don't have like 1 million books on like this one guy.
yeah.
Where Apple, they've made movies about the guy.
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
made, like congratulations, he made a product that
Yeah.
failed in the beginning and now it's big because
Yeah.
he's selling to a stupid audience.
No, I understand what you said. What? Look at the thing is, like Bill Gates' movie will come when he dies. I mean,
Bill
that's
Gates?
Who
again.
cares about these
What?
people though?
Look
That's
at-
the whole thing.
No, it's, what I'm saying is,
Like,
it's
Like
not
Bill
about
Gates
the
doesn't
people.
want a movie. That's what you don't understand.
No, but the
Like Bill
marketing-
Gates does so much more
Yeah.
than Steve Jobs has ever done.
Yeah, no.
Like Bill Gates gives so much
Oh,
money
like
away.
like
He
the-
doesn't give a shit. Like he does it because like he's got too much money. He
Yeah.
doesn't know what to do with it. So he gives crazy
Yeah,
amounts
and then
to
it's
charity.
crazy. Warren Buffett, his best friend. What? They're best friends?
On that
But
note,
it's got.
I'm just saying they're good friends.
We're talking about Bill Gates though.
Yeah, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, they do community service.
But what I'm saying is you can't keep
Yeah.
looking at all these other people that you've been fed to by the fucking media.
Look here,
potential in leaders and mentors everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you keep talking about these people, then you're gonna miss all the others. If people don't, you're gonna use those guys as the source of how you believe people should be. And then if some other guy doesn't live up to their standards, you're gonna discredit him. Because if you like, oh, but what Steve Jobs did this, then it's like, yes, he did that, but what if this guy did something else that Steve Jobs couldn't do?
Yeah.
Or Bill Gates couldn't do? There's
Yeah.
many different people out there.
Look at this
But you
man-
can't be fixated on these guys that you've never met in your life.
Look here, at the end of the day, I'm just talking about why I like these dudes, and that's it. I'm not making a fucking...
No, you busy selling
I'm not ma-
Apple here to us.
I'm not making a movement here. I'm just saying, look here.
Sounds
Apple's
like
just pretty good, though.
Apple Lives Matter. Then look at the new iPhone 6s.
Yeah, who's marketing now, eh?
I'm just saying.
Exactly, I'm also
It
just
looks
saying.
nice.
No, I've actually gone on it and checked the specs.
The specs are terrible.
In what way?
If in the way that if you compare it to any other phone, it just doesn't live up to that.
Look, for instance, I'm into the Inju one.
Yeah.
It's a phone from Dubai.
I feel like if you look at the specs of the NG One
It's very high for the first model.
compared to Apple,
In
you're
there
like,
when they started.
no, compared to the
Oh, yeah.
6S now, like,
No, I
like
know your story. I know your story, Darren.
Apple have a
I
super
know your
nice
story.
screen and maybe a super nice camera, but then they've got so little memory and so little CPU that you're just like, I'm getting so much more from this phone for literally half the price.
But yeah, on that note,
Yeah.
interesting conversation. Kalk Bay, the waves.
The weather.
I don't know if the audience at home can hear the waves in the back,
Yeah.
but it's tranquil. Well, that's us for episode 8 of the Oddcast.
100%.
Darren, Uriah, Mikey.
That's us.
It's all good.